Okay, here we go. We got an excellent connection, it says. Can't beat that for a hump day. And we got lots of sports going a little early tonight. Why not go a little early? Because if we wait, the sports are just going to get older. And we don't want the sports to just get older. I'll start sharing this baby around. We'll get to the NBA Championship Series. We'll get to Major League Baseball. A lot of extra stories to bring you, including I think there's some COVID in the NFL. We'll get it covered all tonight. But first, let's share this baby around a little bit because sharing is caring. It's halftime of the Lakers and Heat. Heat not faring too well right now. Yeah, Lakers 65, Heat 48. That's not good. I did the math. I ran the numbers on it. Not good at all. If you're a Heat fan. If you're a Laker fan, hey, it's great. Morty Vicker is here. Says, hey, Tom, how you doing, Morty? Good to see you. Yeah, if we wait, the sports just get old. So we'll go a little early tonight, and we'll tell you about all those games in Major League Baseball, 8 of them today. And in addition to update you on the series in those contests, because we did have several games yesterday. And there's also some other news in sports, including I think there's some COVID going on in the NIFL. That's the NFL, for those of you who don't speak abbreviation. If you do, well, then you're with me. You're hip to that. You're grooving on that. So I know we got some people from SoCal in here, and usually, and we're going to make sure those fine people keep updated on the Laker game. I'm seeing some halftime highlights. I don't even want to watch them because, why watch? The Lakers are up by quite a bit. They're up by what we in the sports world like to call quite a bit. Let's get this shared around. I'm going to pass it around. I'm going to get an assist there. Speaking of assists, I was frankly rather brilliant today playing soccer with youngsters, and really, when you think about it, I couldn't convince these kids. They're like, oh, I stole the ball from you one time. It's like, okay, you and one other person. The rest of the time I just dribbled around you and passed it. And by the way, I wouldn't ever have lost the ball if I had been playing soccer like I really play soccer. What do you mean? I would have run over you. You're saying you want to run over us? No, I'm saying that when you play at a high level, that's what happens. I would have stepped on your foot. It would have been physical, see, and I just was doing a finesse thing, and these kids are just like, oh, well, what'd you want to hurt us for? I never said that. You guys got to quit being so millennial-like or whatever you are. It's the way the game's played. Please. You think in the NBA nobody touches each other or bangs something and gets physical? Where are you people from? And they kept on, and I go, look, if they ever have a state championship in excuses, you're going to win it. Good gravy. And then I had to show him some actual soccer where, shirt pulls and people getting chopped down. And it's like, in gym class normally when I play, okay? You're in 8th grade. I took it easy on you. And by the way, I'm an old man. Okay, you should actually be embarrassed. But you've been playing soccer a lot longer than we have. Well, yeah, but I'm old. If somebody my age had showed up and started to play when I was 13 or 14, I'd have thought it was the greatest thing ever. I'd have been like, oh man, I'm drooling here. It's an old guy. These kids today, you know what I mean? Do I have to go any further there? These kids today, please, stop it. Just stop it. And they were like, you've been playing soccer for like 20 years. I'm like, I wanted to go, no, actually, I've played soccer for about 43 years. I don't know. Hey, I'm about to do my hashtags. If anybody's got some great sports hashtags, especially if you have hot sports opinions baked into them, I'd love to hear them. That would make my day. No, correct that. That would make my night. I thought about waiting, and then I'm like, man, we got games going on. I might start doing this show at like 7 Pacific because I end up just waiting around, and I don't think there's any reason, unless you guys tell me you don't want me to do that, and then I'll stick to the old way. But come on, how about sports? How about hashtag sports talk? How about hashtag Lakers v Heat? Whoops, Heat. How about hashtag NBA? It'll give me a good like playoffs or championships as a suggestion. Give me my NBA Finals. That's what we want. NBA Finals. Come on, man. I clicked on it. Let's go. All right. How about MLB? How about MLB? Whoops. MLB. And then it'll give me a playoffs. There we go. MLB playoffs. And then how about NFL? How about NFL COVID? How about that? That's not nice. Let's just pretend I didn't say that. Let's just leave it there. Anybody? Anything? And we got a thing again tonight, like we had earlier today, where I'm not seeing all my chat room. I'll wait a second and make sure all the chat room is showing. Oh, there he goes. Ha. There. We're good. We're good. I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out. Bam. There we go. Boom shakalaka. That's what we like to. He's on fire. Anybody? What was that? NBA Jam? Boom shakalaka. All right. Still at halftime there. Why don't we get into this? And I'll put my little card up. Hey. Before I go into the actual show, I'm thinking of changing the name of this show. Because when I talk to people and when I am thinking about this show, sometimes, not all the time, occasionally, I say to myself, I got to do this stupid sports show. And I thought, instead of Tom Gulley's Sports Spectacular, what if we changed the name to Tom Gulley's Stupid Sports Show? I kind of like it for some reason. I think it's got some pizzazz. I'll look to you guys to give me. I'll wait a couple seconds here, and I'll open my cherry vanilla Coke Zero, and I'll wait to get some feedback on that because I trust you guys. Morty Vigor says, "Sorry, Tom, I got a late start on dinner outside cooking steak fajitas on the flat grill." Oh, Morty, you are a chef of cooked meats like no other. I mean, Kurt Connor does a great job, and he ain't doing it every night. You're out there every night sweating over a hot grill. Nothing stupid about this show. I don't know, man. Have you guys seen my Major League Soccer picks lately? I don't know. I just thought it might be a more interruptive, interesting name, is all I thought. And, to be honest with myself and say, is it that spectacular, really? Nothing beats a little undeserved bombast, I think. Oh, we got the game starting up again. Whoa, look out. Miami's got 51 now. 68-51, 11:04 left in the third. Whoa, watch out, Miami. They're making a run. 3 points. Miami was, I think, up early. That's over with. I think they just fouled LeBron. I hate this not wearing your last name on the back of your jersey thing. It confuses me. Hurts my little head. It hurts my little sports head. Hey, how about we get this dog and pony show on the road. I don't know. Tom Gulley's stupid sports show. Maybe we just try it on for a week next week. I mean, I don't think that would hurt. You know, anything we can do to get more viewers. Let's see. What are some other names? Tom Gulley's illegal sports show. No, that doesn't sound right. Tom Gulley's, what do they call it when you smuggle things in? I'll think of something. Tom Gulley's unapproved sports show. Tom Gulley's unnecessary sports show. Stephanie Lindley is here. She says, hey, from Nashville. Let's talk sports with Tom Gulley. I think there's a couple of other Let's Talk sports shows out there. I want it to be kind of like a train wreck. Like, I got to watch. Here, I'm going to take the card off here because I'm still blathering. I want it to be like a car accident that you pass on the highway. I want it to be like, oh, man, that sounds like absolutely just ridiculous. Why, it's a ridiculous concept. I want to be a part of it. Sports up your ass with Tom Gulley. Well, I think that sounds a little too painful. And I don't want it to be about you. I want it to be, I mean, I would never denigrate you, but I'll denigrate me all day long if I can get 3 or 4 more viewers. Yeah. There's a very large radio company, the biggest one, I think, that I used to work for. And I won't say it was an acrimonious parting of the ways, at least not on my part. But I won't also say it was pleasant. And so now I'm talking to those people again through emails and applications and things, and that might lend one to the anyway. Morty Vicker said, what happened to In Sports with Tom Gulley? Tom Gulley's bouncy balls? I do that except hockey. Track. I don't know. Tom Gulley's stupid sports show. Stephanie Lilly got to be spelled B-A-W-S. Yeah, like me, I'm bawling, I'm crying. That might work. All right, let me put the card back up and let's do this. Let's light this candle, shall we? Let's do it.
Tom was a white male. Always invited to the cookout.
Always.
But he spit straight hot fire. Okay? You said who is the best commentator on Facebook Live? Tom.
Because he spit hot fire.
Because he spit hot fire.
Yo, he even got the last name. And let me tell you this too. Tom potato salad good.
No raisins.
It ain't bland. No raisins. No raisins.
I don't care who owned the Chiefs. I hate it here. Make me sick. My allergy. Puke every time. Blah, like that. Puke.
Well, you're a goalie. You're supposed to be like that.
Somebody owned the Chiefs. We go to Florida and I get the money.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Let me answer that. You know, that is an absolute crock of You know, you people in the news media, all of you dwell on some negative piece of like that. And I don't know how Steve feels about it, but it just and you don't have to bleep one single word of this.
It doesn't work for me. I gotta have more cowbell.
Hi, I'm Jim Harbaugh of the Indianapolis Colts, and I recommend that you wear a helmet while listening to the show.
Hey, happy hump day to you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope all your sports is good. Welcome to Tom Gulley's Sports Spectacular, which may undergo a name change. We don't know yet. I'm Tom Gulley, and we've got it all for you tonight. We've got an NBA Championship Finals Series game going on right now as a commercial. And the Lakers are way out in front over the Heat. We've also got a lot of Major League Baseball to catch you up on. Also, I think that COVID in the NFL. We'll tell you about it, plus some other interesting stories from the world of sports. Let's get to it. We've got great people in our YouTube chat room here for Hump Day. We hope you're getting all the hump you feel you deserve. Morty Vicker is here with us. He, the finest purveyor of cooked meats over an open grill in the Southern California Pacific Rim. We've also got Stephanie Lindley in the house. She's from Nashville. Some people call it Cashville. She's not chopped liver. Rosie Williams is here. She said, "What's up?" And she says, "I give no pucks." And that is true. Lovely and knowledgeable Rosie, says Stephanie. Rosie says, "Hey, Stephanie." Rosie is, of course, going to be the recipient of some steak fajitas on the open grill, courtesy of Morty Vicker. Let me see what we got here. Oh, I still haven't updated that. It still says halftime here. It still says halftime on this toy computer. Okay, hold on. We're coming back from break. There's a giant wall of NBA team logos, which I think is silly because most of those teams didn't make the playoffs. Why wouldn't you just have a wall with the Heat and the Lakers? I'm old school. I wouldn't give those other teams any play whatsoever. Don't do this to me tonight. Okay, we're kind of working out. Okay, there we go. There's the end of the intro music, which I've been told it sounds like a little bit like an adult film, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, you picked up on it then. That ain't working. I'm telling you what. I don't know what the problem is with ESPN and these toy computers. I really don't. I'll try it one more time, and then I'm kicking it to the curb. I depend on this. Okay, so 76 for the Lakers, 54 for the Heat. And that's all I got. That's all I got from that. When we get Major League Baseball queued up, there is a full scoreboard and some exciting things that have happened today in Major League Baseball. We're going to catch you up with them. Let's see. Stephanie Lindley says, "I just got exposed to COVID. Neighbors came to cut my grass. When the old guy says, 'Oh yeah, half of us have COVID.' I had no mask on." Oh man, I am so sorry to hear that, Stephanie. Rosie says, Ursula hits grand slam. A grand slam. Let's update you in today's going-ons in Major League Baseball. The Yankees lead the series 1-0 currently, though. They're in the bottom of the fifth, tied up at 6. 2 down, Naylor at the plate, man on third. Top of the second, the LA Dodgers are leading the Brewers 2-0. A final. This is got to be a classic, an absolute classic. Final, 13 innings. The Atlanta Braves beating the Reds 1-0. 1-0. Can you dig it? Freddie Freeman singled home the winning run in the 13th. Let me see if I can look at the box score on this one real fast. Let me see. 11 hits for the Reds, but no runs. And just 6 hits for the Braves. And the 1 run, an error on the part of the Reds. And as I mentioned, Freddie Freeman with that game-winning hit. What a classic. Let's look at the pitching in that one. The Reds make use of 6 pitchers. Bradley takes the loss after pitching just 1/3 of an inning. His ERA, 27.0. The Braves make use of 7 pitchers. Minter gets the win. He pitched only 2/3 of an inning. And, of course, everybody on the Reds, except Garrett with 0s in the ERA column. Everybody on the Braves, goose eggs. Absolute goose eggs. So a lot of called strikes, swinging strikes, foul balls, and in-play strikes on both sides. But I have to say that is got to be a fall classic. And let's see if I can bring you any more about that one. How do you get 11 hits and no runs? Well, you're the Cincinnati Reds. This is one way you do it. I make myself a laugh sometimes. And that game was played in Atlanta. Man, oh man, what a thriller. What a thriller nights. Let me see here. I'll just go back to the scoreboard real fast and see if I can get more on that. It wasn't letting me hit the link the way I wanted to just a second ago. Marge Schott is rolling around in her grave. I'll tell you what. Hopefully. Anyway, game details. No, those are just the things I wanted to say earlier. Anyway, the Astros and Twins hooked it up today. The Astros winning 3-1. They now lead that series 2-0. Atlanta leads that series with the Reds 1-0. And final Marlins 5, Cubs 1. And Miami leads that series 1-0 over the heavily favored Cubs. Athletics over the White Sox 5-3 today. That game is going to tie the series up 1-1. The White Sox flirting with a perfect game actually yesterday. The Rays beating the Blue Jays today 8-2. That series now Tampa Bay up 2-0. The Lightning may have inspired them there. And Cardinals Padres. Cardinals winning 7-4. They lead that series 1-0. Paul Goldschmidt hit a 2-run homer during a 4-run first inning for the Cardinals to get them going. And Renfroe hits a grand slam to help the Rays sweep the Blue Jays. That series is over. That's a 3-game series, so that one is donezo. The Houston series also over. The Twins losing their 18th straight playoff game. What do you think about that? Carlos Correa hit a 2-out tie-breaking home run in the 7th for the Astros, and he has some things to say for the Astros detractors. Dickerson homered for the Marlins during that upset of the Cubs. Let's see here. So any updates here? Okay, so now it's in the bottom of the 6th. Indians, Yankees, 6-all. And New York leads that 1-0. So the Indians playing for their playoff lives. And the Dodgers still up 2-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Can you dig it? That's going to do it for Major League Baseball. Let's get back to the sports stories of the day. There sure are some. I'll tell you. What do we got in our chat room here real quick? Rosie Williams, that's how do you get 11 runs, hits and no runs? I don't know, man. I don't know. Rangers owner embarrassed by club's play. Gee, you think? You think maybe? Now you're going to host the World Series. This thing's frozen up on me again. I'm putting it off to the side. I've had it. I've had it with the toy computer. Can't handle toy computers. I have another one here I'll start using in the evenings. I have another whole laptop computer. I have so many computers, and I have this. I got sources. I got sources all over the place. You know what I'm saying? All over. It's all over. Rosie Williams says Dragic unlikely to return for the Heat with a foot injury. Go Lakers. That is now Lakers 82, Miami 54. 7.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. COVID. Let's see here. ESPN. There we go. There's going to be limited fans allowed during the National League Championship Series and the World Series there in Arlington, Texas, the home of terrible baseball. Michael Thomas of the Saints is practicing on a limited basis. They need him back, and they need him back bad. The Raiders went maskless at an event. They're taking heat for that. The NFL is threatening to take away draft picks for non-use of masks. According to sources, Doc Rivers and the Philadelphia 76ers are discussing a coaching job, and the UFC formally offers McGregor a bout with Dustin Poirier. So I'm going to read that UFC story because I know we got a lot of UFC fans in the chat room right now. And on the one hand, Rosie Williams got to love a dude that'll cook on the grill every night. On the other hand, Morty Vickers got to love a gal that knows her UFC. UFC has formally offered Conor McGregor a non-title lightweight fight against Dustin Poirier. Dana White told Barstool Sports today. Additional UFC sources confirmed to ESPN that the promotion on Tuesday sent a physical contract to McGregor for a potential bout. Sources close to McGregor confirmed to ESPN's Ariel Helwani that the Irish star was offered the Poirier fight, but his management team reaffirmed its desire to fight Manny Pacquiao because he couldn't find anybody older to box, and have a charity sparring match with Poirier instead of the proposed January 23rd UFC fight between the two. We offered Dustin and Conor a fight, so we're waiting to hear back from them both. On Wednesday, Poirier wrote on Twitter, "I accept," with no additional details. He later told ESPN via text he has not yet received a contract from the UFC for a bout against McGregor. McGregor, 22-4, has recently voiced his frustration with the UFC on social media, essentially claiming he was willing and able to fight multiple times in 2020, apparently unaware of the location of any calendars that would indicate to him it is still 2020. However, the promotion failed to book him a fight. The Irish star even shared screenshots of direct messages with White in which he asked the UFC to create an event around him in May in Dublin. I guess we just can't do enough for Conor McGregor. White has said the UFC offered to make McGregor a replacement fighter for a lightweight title fight between Khabib and Tony Ferguson in April, which McGregor declined. McGregor also expressed interest in fighting interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje this summer, but Gaethje came out and said he preferred a title unification fight against Khabib. The UFC has since booked that matchup to headline UFC 254 on October 24th in Abu Dhabi. In the wake of his shared screenshots with White, McGregor has publicly stated he will box Pacquiao, the Filipino legend, later this year, although that fight is not official. McGregor also publicly asked Poirier to participate in the above-mentioned charity MMA match on December 12th, the same date as a UFC pay-per-view event. Only on pay-per-view. He also stated he has interest in fighting MMA veteran Diego Sanchez if Sanchez can find enough makeup. McGregor, 32, is coming off a 40-second knockout of Donald Cowboy Cerrone in January. Leading up to the fight, McGregor said he wished to treat 2020 as a season and compete frequently. Poirier has won 6 of his last 7 contests. The UFC targeted a fight between Poirier and Tony Ferguson, for October 24th, but were unable to come to terms for the fight. McGregor and Poirier fought one another at the UFC 178 in September of 2014 when they were both contenders in the UFC's featherweight division. McGregor won via TKO in the first round. Let's get to our chat room. We've got a lot of people that aren't crazy about Conor McGregor in the house, including me. Rosie Williams says Lakers are smashing. And they are. It's currently 87 Lakers and Miami 59. That is a 28-point bulge at the time. Morty Vickers says Rosie needs to get the beans going. Hey, Rosie, you need to get the beans going. That's love. That's what that is. Hey, honey, you need to get the beans going now. Come on now. Anyway, let's see what else we have here in the world of sports. Yankees-Cleveland game. It's now top of the 6th. Yankees jumping out by 2 runs, 8-6. And the Dodgers have added another run. Bottom of the 2nd, LA 3, Milwaukee 0. Aight, Dan. Let's get to some other MLB news, and then we'll go to the NFL, because they've got COVID. All right. Marlins Marta is day-to-day with a broken left hand. Okay, here's the one I want to read you, because sometimes it takes stones to play professional sports, but you got to have pretty big stones to cheat, win the World Series, and then throw down the gauntlet on your haters. Shaken by a scandal before the coronavirus pandemic shrunk the season, the Houston Astros barely played well enough to reach the playoffs, with the rest of baseball actively rooting against them. Well, they're not ready to leave yet. Carlos Correa hit a 2-out tie-breaking home run in the 7th inning for the Astros, who produced another stifling pitching performance and swept Minnesota over 2 games with a 3-1 victory today that sent the Twins to a record 18th straight postseason loss. I know a lot of people are mad. I know a lot of people don't want to see us here, but what are they going to say now? 9 months after Houston's rules-breaking, sign-stealing system was revealed, the Astros advanced to the American League Division Series in Los Angeles as the 6th seed. They'll face either the Oakland Athletics or Chicago White Sox in a best-of-5 matchup Monday at Dodger Stadium. I don't think they necessarily thought they had anything to prove. They just had to play ball, said manager Dusty Baker, who took his 5th team to the playoffs and advanced for the first time in 7 rounds since winning the 2003 National League Division Series with the Chicago Cubs. Twins are 0-18 in the playoffs since winning Game 1 of their division series at the New York Yankees October 5th, 2004. Total of 7 rounds lost. Since that date, the Astros are 43-35 in postseason play, winning 10 of 15 rounds with 3 trips to the World Series. We're a solid team, Correa said. We played great baseball. We won a series on the road in Minnesota. So what are they going to say now? What they're going to say, Carlos, is that you're a bunch of cheaters. I don't care that you're not cheating now. You're not cheating now because you got caught. Because if you didn't get caught, you'd still be cheating. That's what they're going to say. Kyle Tucker hit 2 RBI singles for the Astros and made a key throw from left field for the inning ending out in the 5th. Rookie Christian Javier worked 3 hitless innings in relief for the victory in his postseason debut. And Ryan Presley pitched a perfect 9th inning against his former team, giving the Houston bullpen a total of 9 2/3 scoreless innings in this wild card series with just 3 hits allowed. So there you go. I don't know what the deal is, but that's what Korea's saying. If I was him, I'd dummy up, man. I'd be doing the whole, hey, we're just glad to be here. Baseball been very, very good to me. And I'd leave it at that. But no. Hey, Rosie needs to get the beans going. Rosie says, I'm going. Morty's laughing. And Rosie says, they're not getting heckled. That's why. Yeah, because if there were fans there, you wouldn't be able to hear yourself. You know? You wouldn't even be able to hear somebody say, Rosie, get them beans going. 89 for the Lakers, 61 now with 2:31 left in the 3rd. Rivers and 76ers, as I told you earlier, Doc Rivers talking to the Sixers about a coaching position. Let's just do this quick story on the maskless Raiders, and then we'll get into what the NFL is saying about if y'all won't be not wearing your masks, y'all gonna be in trouble. Y'all gonna have problems. Coach John Gruden said Las Vegas Raiders players let their dauber down a little bit when they broke COVID-19 protocol by appearing maskless at an indoor charity just tonight. Oh, no, sorry, Monday night. Excuse me, Monday night. Quarterback Derek Carr, who attended the event, said the players had a few moments where we slipped up, took the masks off so people could see our face. However, both pivoted to the reason the players were at the event in the first place. It was a fundraiser for teammate Darren Waller's foundation to help at-risk youth overcome addiction. Waller himself is now 3 years sober. News of the Raiders appearing at the event without masks surfaced one day before the Tennessee Titans reported positive. And by positive, I don't mean a really good attitude. I mean positive for COVID from 4 players and 5 team personnel members. Earlier this month, Gruden was fined $100,000 for not wearing his mask properly on the sideline during Las Vegas's win over the New Orleans Saints on September 21st. The Raiders were fined $250,000 and are also being investigated by the NFL for allegedly allowing unauthorized team employees in the locker room after the game. Meanwhile, the NFL has issued another strong warning to coaches who won't wear masks on the sideline during games, threatening suspensions and forfeiture of draft picks as a punishment for failing to comply with COVID-19 game day protocols, according to a lead memo obtained Wednesday by ESPN's super spy, Adam Schefter. There we go. Gruden, who actually said he had coronavirus in July, has made it a team mission to crush this virus. We're going to crush it. What we're going to do is we're going to load another linebacker on the weak side. Then, never mind. I'm sorry. I made a good portion of that last sentence up. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Let's see here. Let's just go to the NFL and see if we can get any more news about the COVID. Updating you quickly on the NBA, 91-64 Lakers, and there's 1:55 left in the third. Yankees still up 8-6. We're now in the bottom of the sixth. Nobody out for the Indians. Milwaukee is still losing at the end of 2 to the LA Dodgers. They'll get that third inning started any second now, man. I mean, any second now. They're going to start that mother up. It's going to be good. That's what's going to happen. Morty Vickers says, so sounds like they're getting a bye week for both teams. Wonder how that's going to affect fantasy teams with Pittsburgh players. No, just treat it like a bye week, I guess. Stephanie Lindley says, go Titans. Rosie Williams says, Titans can't even go back to their locker room until Saturday. So let's just check that MLB news. Limited fans in Texas. Braves overcome Reds in longest scoreless duel. Twins eliminated, as we told you. Rangers owner Davis embarrassed by team's play. Dude, have you watched him play the last couple of... I mean, come on. This can't be a new thing. And I know you got to... Okay, here we go. Ray Davis and the Texas Rangers ownership group will host the 2020 World Series just as they'd hoped when they broke ground on a new stadium 3 years ago, just not with the team they expected. Instead of a splashy debut year in the $1.2 billion ballpark with the retractable roof, the Rangers finished an American League worst 22-38 in the pandemic-shortened season in front of no fans. Let me tell you something. I lived in Arlington when they were talking about this, and in 2016 there was a referendum in Arlington, should local taxes be increased and sales tax, restaurants, hospitalities and stuff, to build that stadium, to fund the construction of that stadium. And I said, no. The ballpark in Arlington, as we called it at the time, I don't think that was the actual name at the time, but that's what it was when it opened, it was a perfectly good stadium. They made a big case for you can't play baseball in Texas during the summer. It's just too hot. Well, tell that to the Astros. You know what I'm saying? And tell that to the two teams that went to the World Series in consecutive years. They lost them both, but you know what I'm saying. It's just, come on. You just want a new stadium. Just say you want a new stadium. I'm still going to say no. Pay for it yourself. We already got hosed over by the ballpark and the Jerry's Death Star. We don't need another one. So now they got the new stadium, and they stunk up the joint, just like they were stinking up the joint beforehand. And so if you're going to spend $1.2 billion on a stadium, Why don't you go Yankee style on your players? You can't build a stadium like that and just keep using the same old rundown, beat up, floor demo, nicked and dented, factory closeout players. Can't do it. Sorry. Ain't gonna work. And oh God, I'm on the Rangers Facebook all the time. I liked their page because I was covering. And you want to talk about making a big deal out of nothing. The Rangers can lose 13-2, and they'll show the home run that got the 2 runs in. Like, hey, look at it, Jack's one out of the park. Why don't you just post a picture of someone with their head down or holding up a trench coat as they make their way out of a drug bust? I mean, it's that level of shame. Anyway, all I can say for this year is I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for our team. I'm embarrassed for our fans, and I wish it had turned out a lot differently, Davis said Wednesday. The fact is we were to correct what we didn't do this year, and we will correct it and make it better. I've heard that one before. Let's bring in Josh Hamilton again. He didn't take a big enough dump on us the first time. Globe Life Field will have a national showcase when it hosts the first neutral site World Series. No. I think they played a neutral site. Maybe it wasn't a neutral site in St. Louis when the Browns played the Cardinals. Maybe those games were at one team's home field. I could be wrong. The ballpark will also host a National League Division Series and the NL Championship Series with a limited number of fans allowed for the final 2 rounds. While disappointed about his team's record, David said he feels good about a youth movement that took over midway through the season. He expressed confidence in 15-year general manager John Daniels. Really? And said he was impressed with how second-year manager Chris Woodward Did anybody know who the manager for the Rangers was before I just said that? I didn't. And his staff handled a difficult season. The Rangers missed the playoffs for the 4th year in a row since back-to-back AL West titles in 2015-2016, the end of a 7-season span that included their only 2 World Series appearances in 2010 and 2011, right after Davis and his group bought the team. Yeah, well, that was then, this is now. By the way, you know who the president of the team was then? El Presidente? You know who that was? Guy by the name of Nolan Ryan. Yeah, when Nolan Ryan left, Morty Vickers says, I pay attention to bye weeks to an extent when I draft. This might be a pain in the whatevers for a lot of people. Yeah. Yes, sir. Morty Vickers says, some people believe in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't working, double down. Yeah, they do that a lot in Arlington, Texas. We like us a scrappy linebacker at the Dallas Cowboys, and we're not wanting big, durable, reliable. We want scrappy. We like scrappy. If there's anything we love, it's a scrappy linebacker. There we go. Let's go to the NFL and see if I can find out some more COVID news. Yeah. All right there. I hate these feel-good stories. How an Australian girl with autism forged a bond with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, she's their new running back. That's how she did it. Let me update you on what we know about the Titans' COVID-19 outbreak. That Steelers-Titan game is postponed over the positive tests. Let's see. NFLPA president is calling for a switch to grass fields, which wouldn't bother me a bit. 49ers Kittle practices, and Samuel has been cleared to return. They need Kittle back bad. He is awesome. Seahawks signed ex-Packers Browns DB Randall. We'll see how that works out for him. Let's get a quick update on this fabulous NBA game. 93 for the Lakers, 67 for the Heat, 11:24 left in the fourth quarter. The NFL has its first COVID-19 team outbreak. 10 members of the Tennessee Titans have produced confirmed positive tests in the past 4 days, and a rash of coronavirus infections that could potentially have spread during Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium. The Titans have closed their practice facility until at least Saturday, while the Vikings have closed theirs until they have further test results. Additionally, the Titans' Week 4 game against the Steelers has been postponed, though a decision has not been made yet on the Vikings' matchup with the Houston Texans. Here's what we know so far. This started with the Titans because on Saturday, Titans linebackers coach Shane Bowen returned a confirmed positive test. The Titans received the results before they departed Nashville for Minneapolis, and Bowen was held back from making the trip. Were the other 9 Titans employees infected by Bowen? We do not know. What we do know is that the entire Titans traveling party was tested Saturday, as they ordinarily would be, and the Titans had those results by Sunday morning. All were negative, meaning every coach, player, and staff member was eligible for Sunday's game. The Titans stayed Saturday night at the JW Marriott, adjacent to the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, according to ESPN's Courtney Cronin. League protocol requires all members of the traveling party to have their own rooms and also prohibits them from congregating, visiting, or mingling with individuals outside the traveling party once they have arrived in the game city. On Sunday, they defeated the Vikings 31-30. The team flew home after the game ended. So, no one was tested Sunday. Correct. The protocols call for daily testing on every day except game day. Neither the league nor the NFL Players Association has explained explicitly why, but timing is likely a substantial part of the answer. Results for polymerase chain reaction tests, PCR tests, performed on the morning of a game by nasal swab probably wouldn't be returned in time for kickoff. Point of care, POC tests, have quicker results. PCR tests are normally returned overnight, whereas POC tests can be returned on the same day and even before kickoff after a morning test, but they're not as accurate. At this time, POC tests are only used to help confirm initial positive tests, and the NFL doesn't yet trust them on their own. And the NFL likely didn't want to sideline a player or coach based only off the less accurate POC test. When were they next tested? All Tier 1 and Tier 2 employees from the Titans and the Vikings, which includes players and coaches, were tested Monday morning. Of the 9 Titans who returned confirmed positive tests, 4 were players, 5 were employees. 4 players were placed on the COVID-19 list yesterday. Starting nose tackle Daquan Jones, linebacker Kamali Correa, long snapper Bo Brinkley, and practice squad tight end Tommy Hudson. Titans coach Mike Vrabel said Wednesday that some were experiencing flu-like symptoms. No members of the Vikings returned positive tests as of this morning. What about the officials who worked? Scroll thing just... It's just really, gosh, now the page is reloading. It's all gone crazy with the Huygen and the Flurgen and the Schmelgen and the friggin'. What about the officials who worked the Titans-Vikings game on Sunday? Most officials travel home on the night of the game or on the next morning. Per their protocol, they are tested. Tell you what, man. Here, I'm gonna one of these days, straight to the moon. Straight to the moon, Alice. Once in their hometowns and once on the day before games. Referee Cleet Blakeman's crew worked this game and will be tested daily this week. None of those officials will work a game in week 4. Man, oh man, I'm telling you what, this is really hosing me over bad. Let's see here. Come on. Does this mean the outbreak is contained? No. General guidance from public health officials suggests it can take up to 5 to 7 days for an infection to register in a test. That's why the Titans facility is closed through at least Saturday. The NFL, NFLPA protocols for increased monitoring for 8 days for anyone who had close contact with someone who returned a confirmed positive test. How do they determine close contact? The protocols follow CDC guidelines within 6 feet apart for at least 15 minutes of an infected individual. The league identified 48 close contacts to monitor based on contact tracing of the 8 confirmed positive individuals, according to the league. It's unclear if those are all members of the Titans or if some are members of the Vikings. So they do know a lot, even if they know what they don't know. I love that phrase, by the way. Excuse me, little COVID. Did the virus find a hole in the protocol? Kind of. The absence of game day testing heightens the risk. Okay? A point-of-care test Sunday in the morning might have caught at least some of the positive results in the Titans eventually recorded Monday. The rest of the protocols are working. There's a flow chart for how long infected players and staff members will be kept away from the rest of their team. So, anyway, that's what we know so far. And Stephanie Lindley, I'm sure, is not happy with any of that, being a Titans fan. Stephanie says, Lord, Titans, Lord, Lord, Lord. In the words of Florida Evans, damn, damn, damn. Morty Vickers says, any more news on X Games or the Olympics in Japan? I heard Japan says they are a go, but how much money would you put on it happening? I think if they can do what Dana White did, they can pull it off. Stephanie says, nuts. I appreciate what Dana White has done. I think they've done a fabulous job. But when you start talking about the number of sports, the number of athletes, the number of heats, the number of preliminaries in the Olympics, man. And by the way, that's 2021. So just since you asked, I'm going to look that up for you. I'm going to do that. All right, just since you asked. Olympic sports. I think that would cover the Olympics, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that cover the Olympics? I'm pretty sure. I'm no scientist, but the life and trials of Oscar Pistorius. Give me a break, dude. You wasted a chick through a door. Dummies. You big dummies. I'm not seeing any. Japan's new prime minister vows to host Olympics next year. Okay, I'll go into that story. A lot of the Olympic sports are holding their trials and or world championships without any fans in the stands, is what I'm seeing there. Japan's new prime minister said Saturday he's determined to host the Tokyo Olympic Games next summer as proof that humanity has defeated the pandemic. 2020 games were postponed as the coronavirus spread worldwide, and there has been widespread doubt about the Olympics' future. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said in a pre-recorded speech at the UN General Assembly that he will spare no effort in order to welcome you to games that are safe and secure. Surveys have shown that a majority of Japanese companies and the public don't think the Olympics will or should happen next year. A poll published in June by Japanese broadcaster NHK said 2/3 of sponsors were undecided about extending for another year. Keeping domestic sponsors on board is financially crucial, and Japanese leaders have been eager to signal the game's viability next year. But think about it. You host the Olympics, you're inviting people from every single country in the world, except the ones that just totally suck at sports. Recruited by Japanese advertising agency Dentsu Incorporated, domestic sponsors have paid a record $3.3 billion, at least twice as much as in any previous Olympics, to the local organizing committee. That's on top of a dozen permanent Olympic sponsors who have signed long-term with the International Olympic Committee. Some have also had individual contracts signed with Tokyo organizers. Japanese organizers are saying little, however, about how 15,400 Olympic and Paralympic athletes, staff, and officials will be safe with no vaccine or treatment for the virus yet available. So, as we say on the show here, what are you going to do? The kid ain't got no mother. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Lakers 103, Miami 81, 6 minutes, 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Top of the seventh, Yankees still up 8-6 over Cleveland. At the end of three, LA Dodgers 3, Milwaukee 0, as Lynette Miller goes crazy somewhere in the Bakersfield metropolitan area. That's what we've got so far. Anybody's got any other questions, thoughts, hopes, dreams, goals, aspirations, or remarks? Let me know. Morty Vickers says, you the best, Tom. Lots of testing, then keep them quarantined through. That's what we are told works. Rosie Williams says, I need me some gymnastics. Well, Rosie, I give you gymnastics, but you got to get them beans going. I mean, I'll go. I'll do the gym, but you got to get them beans going. Morty Vickers says, I need me some gin and tonics. Gibblies? Are you doing the Gibblies? Let me see here about them gymnastics. I'm going to have to go back to Olympic sport. I guess that's an Olympic sport. I guess they do gymnastics in the Olympics. And I did see an Olympic story here, I believe, about gymnastics. I like the famous Japanese male gymnast called Toji Goshigen. Toji Goshigen. Anytime you want to say a name about, you just say Toji Goshigen. I mean, it's a lot of cycling news here. Come on. Show me gymnastics. I want gymnastics. I'm not seeing any gym. Oh, here. Just a story about misconduct in the gymnastic world. It looks like it's about a 2-week-old story. Let me see if I can find a better one than that. There's got to be some better gymnastics news than these ladies have been just horribly abused. It's just not. Look, all I'm going to say is, man, that ain't cool. You know what I mean? It's just not cool. I don't understand how. No, I'm not seeing a lot of gymnastics news. Sorry, everyone. That's the only one. I mean, I could read that story for you, but if you ask me, it's a major downer. They're just going to hold a committee. International Gymnastics Federation holding conference to examine abusive behavior in the sport. Conference being held next month. Who knows what they'll do with that? I don't know. They're having a conference. I'm sure there'll be a big table. There'll be pads of paper. There'll be pitchers of water with the glass. Other than that, I don't know. I got nothing. Morty Vickers says, curling, Tom, let's hear it. Is pickleball ever going to make its way into the Olympics? No, I had a discussion today with somebody that's in charge of allocating gym space about just what kind of jerky people the folks are in pickleball. Really, I'm sorry. Grand Prix final in figure skating has been postponed. German doctor admits to blood doping. I'm going to look up curling. I'm going to just be curling news. I'll look up curling news for you, Morty Vicker. curling news. Boom, shakalaka. Well, there's a curling center coming to Lafayette. I don't know whether that's Lafayette, Louisiana, or what the deal is. Okay. All right. You asked for this, Morty. Yeg me on. LA 107, Miami 85, 454 left. Oh, sorry. LA 109. No. LA 107, Miami 87. Somebody just dunked for the Heat. All right. This story is 7 hours old, Morty. This is fresh curling news. Sports fans are well aware of the sweet science, but it's sweep science that has caught the attention of curlers. A pair of engineers from Western University have been taking a closer look at how the fabric of certain brooms are able to manipulate the direction of a rock. It's the stone. That's the big thing. By measuring the topography of an ice sheet after it has been swept by different broom heads, the co-authors of the study discovered some materials can cause deep scratches that could alter a rock's curl and direction. The research was sparked by a 2015 scandal where some curlers were caught using Franken brooms with different fabric used to alter a rock's direction after it had been thrown. I'm going to read this in a Canadian accent, if that's okay with you. A new fabric came out, and we saw some interesting behavior with what the rocks were doing when people were sweeping, sort of a joystick effect where you could sweep in a certain direction and you could help the rock move in that direction, said scientists who are also elite provincial level curlers. People were perfecting this sweeping technique to basically make a shot that wouldn't be made otherwise there, This rock manipulation frustrated curlers at all levels, including co-author Dr. Jeffrey Wood, a club curler and associate dean of undergraduate students at Western University's Faculty of Engineering. We were really trying to understand the physics of what makes a rock curl the way it does, That's what we were trained to do there. The study compared a legal broom to 6 others that are now deemed illegal by the World Curling Federation. Following each sweep, Ballston would place a type of putty over that patch of ice to capture an impression of its topography. Under a microscope, 4 of the now illegal broom heads had caused significantly deeper scratches than those made by the approved head. And Morty, I'd like to thank you for making me read this story because I got to use the term approved head in a sentence. I think the results showed that some of the brooms were truly changing the ice and damaging the ice, which is against the rules of the game there, But some of the brooms that were disqualified from high-level competition, I don't think were causing a problem, so maybe some of them may make a return to the game. We'll see. The research has caught the attention of curlers at all skill levels, including a player from one of the top 5 teams in Canada. I think he was curious about what other research we might be doing when it comes to sweeping. So sweeping techniques and that, I think a lot of the players are currently trying to figure out what the best technique is there, said a scientist who did not mention the player by name. Well challenged. That's just simple decorum. Very gentlemanly. All right, let's see here. Morty says, really? Wow, they are really the worst. Pickle players are literally the vegans of sports. Yeah, they are. They will bend your ear for hours telling you how great it is. And I've seen it, and I guess it's okay. It may be a hobby. It may even be a pastime, but it's not a sport. Morty Vickers says, Stephanie Lindley with the pickle emojis. Morty Vickers says, wow, cheaters going to cheat no matter what the sport. Of course. Don't you know there? Yeah, Stephanie, don't you know? Morty says, make the shot there, Stephanie Lindley says, I'd rather hear about that 30-point buck there. Well, more than a buck. A lot of them up there in Canada, they want to talk about the puck, because you got to, if you want to play hockey, you got to play the game with a big heart and a big bag of knuckles. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it goes. That's how you play hockey in Canada, with a big heart and a big bag of knuckles. Yeah, it's the way you do it there. That's the only way you do it. Top of the 7th, Yankees 8, Cleveland 6, fighting for their playoff lives, the Cleveland Indians. And top of the 4th, the Dodgers still hold a 3-2 lead. Man on second. Oh, the Dodgers. Sorry, was it 3-2 or was it 3-0? Now there's 2 down, top of the 4th. Nobody on now. There was just a man on second. And I think I'm going to have to go out there and look at the MLB there real quick there. I think I'm going to have to check into this game there, I think it's time I check back in with the Major League Baseball there, because you'd hate to see the Brewers there take one in L.A. there. Because, the Dodgers was the best team in baseball, and you like to see a team get rewarded for that there, That's what you like to see there. Let's see. 2 down, top of the 7th. Men on first and second. Gardner at the plate for the Yankees. 8-6, the Yankees lead the Indians. Give me that Dodgers score there. Top of the 4th, 2 outs there. And the Brewers bounce back there, Why are we talking Canadian there with the, the Milwaukee accent, not that different from the Canadian there, Dodgers up 3-2, top of the 4th, 2 down. Brewers just, let me just see the game cast very quickly and see if I can tell you what transpired there in Los Angeles. I'd like to update you on what transpired during the contest. Because that's how I do. That's the way I do. Morty Vickers says, that's some good eating deer. Yeah, that's good eating deer. You got muskrat, you got coho. Morty, if you're cooking it, I'm eating it. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say there about that there. Oh, man. Arcia homered to left center. Vogelbach was on, so he scored. So, the Brewers there, they're showing they got some fangs. That's what they're doing. I need therapy. All right. I don't think there's any... Morty says, I think we broke Tom. He's stuck in Canuck mode. Yeah. No, I'm okay now. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us tonight here on the Sports Spectacular, which could soon be called Tom Gulley's Stupid Sports Show, or Unnecessary Sports Show, or Totally Superfluous Sports Show, or something. Or we may just keep it like that. It depends on how much laziness kicks in, really, for me. That's kind of where we're going there. I don't think there's any chance. Well, 111.96 with 142. Now there's no chance the Heat are coming back. Ups a daisy. It looks like Dwight Howard maybe just done that there. And yeah, it's 113.96 now. So that's 4 and 13 is 17-point lead. Miami shoots for 3 off the rim. Lakers rebound. Yeah, this and they call it T, which stands for timeout. It's Indiana lingo for timeout. Hey, I got to thank you guys for showing up as usual. We got to get some more people in here. Not that you guys aren't the best people in the world. You are, let's face it. But I'd like to get some people in here that aren't as cool as you so you can feel better about yourself. And I can, gently mock them occasionally. I tell you what, I start covering pickleball in here, and we'll get some people in here. Let me see if I can. Hold on a second. I just got to do it now. I'm looking up pickleball news. Bet you there's 300 stories. Oh God. Here's a story. Well, these are from May. Proof that pickleball is exploding. That's a video. Sorry. Let's see if I got anything here. Oh, recent news archives. The USA Pickleball Association. Jeez. Apple Watch adds pickleball as a workout. All right, we're all going to laugh at this, and then the show's going to be over. It was an exciting morning for pickleball enthusiasts as word spread that our sport was officially added as a workout option with the Apple Watch OS 7 update. This is a big deal, and across social media, you can tell by the excitement of our players that this addition to our watches means pickleball has received more recognition across the world. No more using badminton as a workout choice was commented numerous times online by regular players that use their Apple Watch to track their daily workouts. Apple announced numerous fitness enhancements to their app for both adults and children, including additional workouts like dancing, move minutes for kids instead of calories, and options to track your sleep. So, yes, great news. Pickleball is now equal to sleep on the Apple Watch. Great news, pickleballers. I wonder if there's any comments on this. I bet you people are just going crazy pants. There's much more to that story, but isn't that funny enough? All right. Lakers 109, Heat 96. No, it was 113. Sorry, 113 to 96. 41 seconds, 40 seconds left. Heat dribbling around. They pass it into the lane. Shot, pass, and dunk. It is now Lakers 113, Miami 98. 33 seconds left. Lakers bring it across half court. Rondo being picked up just past the mid-court stripe. He goes to the left flank, shoots a three, and he drains it. Boom, shakalaka. Boom, baby. That's string music. Bottom of the sack, Jim. Lakers 116, Miami 98. Heat with the ball. Top of the left-hand corner. They shoot for three. That's no good. Lakers rebound. And they're dribbling very slowly. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, across midcourt, 2, 1, and book that one. Lakers 116, Miami 98. Lakers lead the series 1-0. That will do it tonight on the Sports Spectacular. And wait a minute. I have comments to read. Morty Vickers says, love your show, Tom. Thanks, Broseph. I'm here unless I can't help it. Have a great night, everybody. I should mention I might start doing the show earlier. So hit that subscribe button. It's the little bell next to it. You'll get a notification because sometimes the sports is going on a little earlier. And why should I stay up later? I'm old. Morty Vickers, Stephanie Lindley's got more pickle emojis. Morty Vickers says, I'll share with all my sports groups on Turd Book. It's hard to get them to be motivated enough to do anything other than pretend to play sports by being fantasy managers of their own team. Hey, I ain't mad. Stephanie Lindley says, pegged in the head with a lawn dart. Pegged in the head with a lawn dart is what she said. Stephanie Lindley says, now they're all off the shelves at Kmart. Morty's laughing. Rosie says, Lakers, yes, they are victorious. That's going to do it for tonight's edition of the Sports Spectacular. I'm going to see most of you here again tomorrow night, I hope. Share a friend, tell a friend, share a tell a share, and good night and good sports.